Meanwhile, in the sprawling suburbs of Corby... Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Tuesday. We're now 9 days to New York Comic Con next week, and once again I am going to be showing off everything that Fanhome are going to be presenting for the forthcoming future. That's collections and partwork builds. Get to find that out next Thursday. I'm at New York Comic Con on the Thursday, but today, continuing Fanhome D'Agostini week, we're going to be doing the next 6 stages of Build 1966 Batmobile. Six stages, and actually it's a really big box. There's quite some big parts in this box, but we do get a free gift in this box as well. Now, I was meant to have a coffee this morning, and I didn't get one, so I'll have this while I'm editing it. But as you can see, we've got the Bat mug. It's the Bat mug looking just like that. How cool is that? So definitely going to be filling that up with Bat coffee in a minute. If you do want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. I have got everything that I think I need. I think we were working on this last time, so I'm guessing we're going to be building onto that. But I've also got the chassis just down here in arm's length, so I can grab it. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So starting with stage 33, here's the magazine. Let's see what we're going to be doing. We have got the other leaf spring, so we are continuing doing this area just here. So going to put the leaf spring on just like this. So at the end, that's how it's looking. So here we go. Here's stage 33 here. And because we've already done one, it's pretty easy to see which way round this goes. It's going to go that way round, but obviously this one's going to be going over here like that. I'm going to be having this metal plate. This is all metal, just going over the top of that, just mirroring that one there. That's held in with an EM screw first. Perfect. And then we've got these hook bolts here, which are just going to be going through this side. So they're coming up there. And then I've got some nuts. Look, I got it right this time. Got some nuts to put just on the end, which I will tighten up in a minute. I'm just going to put them gently in place just to keep that in. There you go. And I'll just put one on the other side as well. Now, if anyone's wondering why the accident board is back to 2 now, I forgot to mention that yesterday. It's because of this. Took a screwdriver to the knuckle. So I'm so accident pro. So there you go. They're in, and we can just use this little gadget here just to tighten them up. The bat spanner, as I like to call it. As a matter of fact, everything on this build should just be prefaced with bat. So I'll put the bat wrench down. That's looking like that. And then the last thing to do, just like we've got there, I'm going to be putting this suspension just on here like that with an EM screw. Make that nice and tight. Perfect. And with that in, that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 34, here's the magazine. That was the penguin at the front there. And it looks like, wow, what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be adding some parts now to the section that we just completed in the last stage. Adding all of this in here, and then it looks like we are putting this on the chassis. So quite a lot to do. This is such a big thing now that I'm probably going to have to zoom out the cameras so you can actually see the full thing. Although big things we're doing today, this is actually just a little small package here. So let's open these up. Okay, the first thing I want is the left spring hammer. Again, this is all metal. I know this is the left one because it's stamped with an L just there. This is going to be the left side. So if I'm facing it with this one with the differential here, I'm going to be putting this just on the end here like that. It's going to be held in with an AJM screw. This is one of these long screws here. Because they're metal, obviously I have put these in oil, because they do take some breaking in to get them in, as you see, but when you've got them, they then go in quite easily. You do want to make sure that it comes out the other side just there like that. And what we've done on one leaf spring here, we're going to be doing on the other leaf spring. So I've got this one loaded up, ready to go. That's just going to go in here. Once again, screw that in here. This is the right-hand side one. And get that all the way through. So because we've got these on this side, we've now got these shackles to put on. They're going to be going on this side here. They're going to go in this way. And what happens is they butt up, if you have a look here, against the circle there. And I do have this pin looking like this that I need now to push through. Now it gets pushed in through the inside. So I just put that back on how it goes there. It's quite tricky actually. Let's put one of these through there. And I want to get this through this side as well. There you go. So that's in just like that. So we can see the bolts from the outside. Now, I do have a bracket here. That bracket's just going to go over the two parts of the screw that we can see, like that. And then I'm going to be putting some nuts just on the end. One that side. And one that side. And use my bat wrench just to tighten that up. Perfect. And what we've done on one side, just going to do the same on the other side. Once again, bat wrench to tighten this side up as well. That's perfect. Okay, we've got some springs. They're just going to be going onto the shafts here. So one this side and one this side, like that. And now the fun bit, I need to bring over the chassis. And if you have a look here, I am lifting up this side just to protect the engine, because it's this area that I'm going to be working on, because I'm going to be flipping this over and putting this with the springs on this way. So let me just show you how that's going to look. These are going to go in here. 1, 2. Excellent. And everything else here is going to line up. So it's seated in there just like that. Now in these holes here, we're going to be holding them in with EM screws. Perfect. So that's those in place. And then I can turn this over and just put the ones in here. Perfect. And with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. Okay, stage 35 here. Here's the magazine. Let's see what we're going to be doing. Looks like we've got the gears and the steering mechanism. I'm going to be doing that all here. Putting that together. Once again, mounting this to the chassis. Tiny box, this one. Look at this. Get that open. So I'm going to be putting this gear first into the steering mechanism. Making sure I've got the right piece here. It is this piece. I am going to generously coat this in oil. I always do with this, but that's going to be going in there. And then we've got a worm gear going underneath it. This is the worm gear here. Once again, I've put that into some oil as well. And it fits snug in there just like that. I'm going to zoom up the top camera just a bit so you can see how that's sitting in there. Once I've done that, I'm going to be covering the whole thing with the other side here. Now all of this is metal. And there we go, that's all sealed in one place now. I need to hold this together with AM screws. So got that here. And I'll screw this together. Takes 2 screws here. Now when I've got this last one in, I just want to check that this, when it turns, is going to turn that top there. And it does. It's very slow to turn it, but it is turning it, as you can see. Mine's quite loose now as well. It wasn't, but with all that oil I've put in there, that's really helped to loosen that up. Okay. We've then got this universal joint I'm going to be putting into this end just here, which means loading up some of these tinier ZM screws. And I don't know why, but I always meticulously have issues getting these in. Let's see how we get on today. See, I'm going to have another accident if I'm not careful. Okay, I've got one in one side and one in the other side there as well. Not bad, not bad. Managed to get that in. Once we've done that, I've now got this joint to go in. It's the larger opening that we want. That's just going to go over the top there. And once again, I'm going to need these tiny ZM screws to screw that together. I think I've done so many universal joints in my time now. It's not as bad as I remember it. And the fact I've still got all my fingers. Oh, almost. Oh, that was almost an accident. There we go. That's that universal joint in place. And this square end here is going to, probably best on the top camera here, is going to be going into this section here of the steering. And these two holes here are going to mount to the two holes there. So let me just line this up. Get it in. Perfect. So that's fitting in like that. It's held in with AM screws. And we need two of these. Perfect. I'm just going to turn it upside down. Rather than put something down, I'm going to hold it, because the bottom where that is engaging into that steering mechanism, I'm going to be putting an AM screw there as well. So if I turn this back, as you can see here, when I turn the steering, the wheels move, as you can see. Excellent. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 36, here's the magazine. We're going to be assembling the drive shaft and connecting the gearbox to the rear axle. That's what we're doing in this stage. So this looks like quite a quick stage, actually. Looking like that. Small box again. Once again, I'm tempting fate because I'm going to put two universal joints together. Now this time these universal joints are AP screws, so these are plastic screws. So I've got the universal joint into this joint here. Then the other side of it is going to go onto this side here. These are exactly the same by the look of it, so it doesn't matter which way round we put this. I'm not even going to comment about these universal joints until I've got these in time, because that happens. Oh my God. I'm still surviving. Honestly, if you're going to injure yourself on a model, it's going to be by doing universal joints. Every single time I have an accident, it's normally because of them. There you go. That's in place. Now, on the smaller end here, looking like this, I do have a ring to put on. So I'm just going to be putting that on there for now. And then I'm going to be piecing this end here into the gap there, and then putting the other side on here. So what that's going to do, let's put them together first actually. Then I can just feed that bit into the end like that. Excellent. I can screw these in with AP screws. That'll keep this center part together. And then, tempting fate, I've got to put another universal joint just on this end here. So there we go. That's how that's looking. Bring the car over. I want to get this longer end here, which we put two screws in, and that's what's going to be going into this end just here. Perfect. Once again, held in with AP screws from each side. All good. Attach the other end in exactly the same way with AP screws, just into the universal joint this side by the differential. Perfect. Now at this time, we're not to mount this bearing. There's nothing to mount the bearing to, but that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 37, there's Catwoman. There we go. Here's the magazine. And this time, look, we've got a massive floor pan that we're going to be putting on here. So we're going to be putting that into position and putting loads of CM screws to hold that down. So that's looking like that. Nice quick stage. And it's a ginormous floor pan. Look at the size of that box. Now this is crazy. This is solid metal. It's a solid metal floor pan. Check out the size of that. For my head, there you go. There's the International Unit of Measure working in action. Bring over the car. making sure I'm not trapping any of the wires there. We want these wires to be on top. Going to be putting this into position there. Getting the CM screws. Now there's 12 screws to put in here. They're going all the way around the chassis here. So you've got to get this one in first. That's going to line everything up. 5 on this side, 5 on this side, and then 2 in the middle. So I'll put them all in now. And there you go. With that massive floor pan in, that's all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this pack, looking like this. Here's the magazine. We are going to be doing the seat pan. So it's just this pan that's going to go into the gap in that floor pan that we had. So then a nice quick stage. I think we're going to bundle these last 2 stages together. So here's the last pack. Okay, so to put the floor pan in, dead easy. All we need to do is make sure that this bearing is this way round. So the round side's facing up. We're just going to take the floor pan, put that over the top. And I'm holding this in with CM screws. Now it takes a few. We've got 4 just at the back here. 2 at the side, and then another 4 at the front. So let's get all of them screwed in first. So this is the last screw going in here. That's the floor pan in place. All we have to do then is just get an AP screw here, and I'm going to secure that bearing in place. Let me support this with my hand here. The bearing, just need to move it into position. So I've got my tweezers here. It's just going to go into the indent there. 2 AP screws either side to hold that in. Perfect. And with that in, that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. And there you go. That is how that is looking. Nothing small about this build, is there? Once again, though, if you do want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. Remember to click that like button and also the subscribe button. I will notify you when new videos are up, especially next week, as I said, because next Thursday I am at New York Comic Con and I'll be able to report back to you to let you know what new collections and releases Fanhome have to offer. But until then, take care.